Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres. And if I look a little windblown today, it's because I am. As we're doing this video, you'll be hearing crashing and bashing, and that is the wind. We have a storm coming in tomorrow, and whew, it is really, really windy today. It's the kind of thing that makes it hard to get anything done because you tend to get knocked over, literally. So, the last couple of days in the greenhouse, as you noticed, I'm in the greenhouse, I've been actually having trouble keeping a couple of my plants wet enough. And it's because they've really outgrown their pots. So today, while I was waiting here, we're filling the barrels with rainwater because we did get a little bit of rain the other day, and it was like 0.07 or something, 4, I don't know, 5. Anyway, it was a tiny bit by most people's standards, but we were thrilled. But it means that the storage tank we have is coming up again a little bit. So we're trying to shift as much water to our regular storage as we can before the next storm comes in, because we don't want to overflow. So I decided that today, while I was waiting, because I do kind of have to keep an eye on things, I would go ahead and get a couple of those plants that have been kind of bugging me transplanted. And I could plant them tighter than I'm going to, but I decided it just was not a great idea. So this one guy that's left in here is a tiara cabbage. The other cabbages that were in here have already come out, and they were really badly damaged by the cold that we had this winter. So we didn't get much out of them, but it's okay. It was a try, you know. I mean, we learned a lot again, and everything you do should either be fun or learning experience. And there have been a lot of things that were learning experiences in the last couple of years. So I am going to transplant Bok Choi into this. Now, I know it's a cabbage. It's, you know, same family and all that kind of stuff. I try not to do that too often, but right now this one has come empty, and I'm just going to do it. Now, what I just moved in there, if you were watching me, is I put in some bone meal, and I'm going to top this off with some fish emulsion, because I want to make sure that the plant has plenty of good stuff going on. Now, the reason I've been having trouble, as you can see, I think probably, it's starting to fill. Now, it's not root bound yet, but it's really starting to fill its space here. So when we get super hot weather, it's simply hard for it to get enough moisture. It just doesn't have enough of a reserve. So, and I try not to keep these guys too soggy, because then we have other problems with root rot and such. So I am going to simply transplant these guys in here. And then I'm going to top him off with a little bit of fish emulsion. Like I say, I usually try not to plant brassicas in the same location. There was no disease involved in the previous brassicas. They were frozen, but freezing is not disease. So we didn't have any fungus, we didn't have any bugs, we didn't have any nematode problems. Hi, Jack. Dad let you out. He says he did. So Jack has come to see me. Says, Mom snuck away again. She's such an evil lady. She sneaks away. Anyway, so I'm going to finish this here. Now, just got 2 more little guys in here. And I think these will be a lot happier in here. In case you're wondering what I'm pulling out. We had a couple of batches of seed starting soil come in last year, and there's not a lot of weeds in them, but there are a few, and they're all sedge. Now, sedge is a grass-like thing. I haven't actually looked up its exact details, but I recognize it as being sedge. We don't have sedge around here. I don't remember ever seeing a single sedge plant in our area, so this is not contamination locally. This came with the potting soil. And I always find that kind of weird because to me, potting soil is supposed to be something that's like pretty sterile. But yeah, I know a lot of people had trouble last year, so I suppose I shouldn't be terribly shocked. So, there we go. These guys are going to be way happier in here. And I'm hoping they'll just really kick in because we ate the last of our Bok Choi the other day. So we are out of Bok Choi officially. So now all I have to do is give these guys a little fish emulsion. I want to start a bunch more seeds, but we're going to get really cold the next couple of days. So I'm debating whether I may postpone a couple things. I may not because they'll be on a heat mat anyway. So as long as we don't lose power, and since we're not on the grid, we're not likely to lose power. But hopefully these Bok Choi will grow up happy and healthy, and in a month or so, we'll have Bok Choi as part of our meals again. I may actually plant a couple of other things in here, but I think not. I think I'm just going to let these guys have this whole little spread for their own selves. And now it's time for a little fertilizer, and that's about it. Not hard. Very glad I got these started when I did. I've got another 7 or 8 over there started. And I need to start up another batch because we like to have a really steady supply of Bok Choi for stir fry. And the only thing we've had really reliably steady this winter has been spinach. I need to start my lettuce. I did not start it earlier this year because we were so intensely cold. And so we're lettuce free, but we're doing fine. So let's get a little bit of fertilizer mixed up here. This was bone meal that I sprinkled in here, which is just an amazing stinky plant thingy. Ugh. I mean, it's super good for the plants. It's super good for the plants, but it certainly does not smell great. And I'm going to add a little bit of fish emulsion. I think this is supposed to be like a tablespoon. And if you think bone meal smells bad, just wait till you get some fish emulsion. But I really do like to use natural stuff whenever I can. Even the pelleted stuff that we get from Haas Tools is actually pelleted chicken manure. So that has a very distinctive aroma. Seriously. I'm going to have to use a pair of pliers on that one. There. Man. Fish emulsion is gooey. So if it gets in the crack on the top at all, it's really lovely. It glues it closed. It's kind of like getting Elmer's glue into everything. All right, and I'm going to add a tiny bit of Micro Boost. Micro Boost is a micronutrient supplement. We get ours from Haas Tools, and we love it. It makes such a difference. It's amazing. It's just micronutrients, but, you know, things like magnesium and sulfur and boron and copper and iron and manganese and molybdenum and zinc. But it really makes a huge difference for the plants. We use it in the greenhouse for sure, and we also use it in the garden just to make sure. And this is all gentle enough that I'm not concerned about watering my plants in with this. You know, I would, if I was using some sort of random chemical fertilizer, I probably would not dare do this because I would be afraid I'd burn them. But I'm not concerned at all about that. So I'm just going to water this in good. It won't hurt anything. Doesn't hurt if it gets it on the leaves or anything else. And we're sunny today, but we're not brutally hot. The fan is off right now, but it has been on a bit today. This won't hurt anything. So I'm going to hit down the line of pots here. I need to switch up here because this is my seedlings. And these guys are potatoes. and they're not doing anything yet, and I wouldn't expect them to. So I've been debating that for a couple of days, and this morning when everything was droopy again, I said, oh, I really have to do something about this, because I'm going to just, at some point I'm going to screw up. I'm not going to get out here early enough, and then the plants are going to be really damaged, and I didn't want to do that. So now I have some space over here again. Ta-da! I know it's not super exciting, but I hope you find it useful. I'm going to get on to some other things. We are getting ready for the storm tomorrow, so I brought in firewood to the studio this morning. Henry brought me 2 big loads with the tractor once he got that set up. Then we're pumping water into these guys. We'll be set. Our goal was to get everything all set so we can chill a little bit if we get real weather. So we've got extra fuel for the generators. So we're set to go. Part of our try not to get caught unawares, shall we say. We normally check the weather forecast here at least twice a day, sometimes more often because we're in a very volatile area. And that's one of the things you have to figure out. There's an awful lot of places in the United States that are volatile, some only at certain times a year. But being caught unawares is never a fun concept. So be safe, be careful. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell because we're going to be doing lots more. We have cabbage. That's a cabbage. These are bok choy, carrots, kohlrabi, potatoes, and potatoes. And that's just the center. So there's going to be a ton more coming on. So until next time, bye.